You guys, this tastes so good. It's spicy. It's still moist and tender. And with the sides of the green beans and the rice, it complements each other really well. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Mama Mayhem. And for today's video, we're making some delicious, crunchy, tasty salmon cakes. Are you guys ready? But before we begin, as always, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification button so you can be notified when my next video comes out. Also, please like, share, and if you like this video, comment below and let me know what you guys think, okay? Let's begin. Okay guys, so step one, what you do and what you should always do when you're cooking is wash your fruits, vegetables, and of course, your meat. I will do a separate video on how to wash your meats, but with this one, because it's pre-seasoned, the salmon is already pre-seasoned, there's not much I can do when it comes to washing it, but I did sprinkle it with vinegar. Check it out. It is very important to wash your meats and vegetables just to get out that, especially your vegetables, because you want to get out that dirt, any bacteria that's been sitting on your vegetables, especially if you just got it straight from the farm or straight from anywhere, the grocery store. It's very important to wash your vegetables and your meat. It's really weird, right? So a lot of people that I've dated or friends with, they've never washed their meat before. And I'm just like, you never washed your meat? And that kind of made me not want to low-key eat at their house. Because if you're not washing that meat, please don't feed me. You got to wash your meat and your fruit and vegetables, okay? So now all our vegetables are all washed. Time to wash our meat. I'm going to show you in a separate video how I usually wash my meat. But because the salmon is already pre-seasoned, I'm not going to really wash it the way I usually wash my meats, as you can see here. So instead, I'm just going to put vinegar all over it, just to clean it out a little bit. Okay, so now to wash this pre-seasoned salmon, I'm going to use vinegar, and this is the vinegar that I use. Vinegar is very important, you guys, because not only does it kill the bacteria, it's an essential part. It's a very essential part in the washing of your meat process. So I'm just going to pour just a little bit of vinegar on top of the meat. And then we do the same thing, rub it all over a little bit, dab the vinegar onto the salmon. And you do the same thing on the other side. Pour a little bit of vinegar on top of it. And again, dab the vinegar, rub it all over, and dab on the pre-seasoned salmon. And that's how we're gonna wash our meat today. All right, you guys, step two, season your salmon. So mine is pre-seasoned already, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more flavor to it to make it more distinctive for me, because this is the way I like to make my salmon taste. So I have brown sugar, sea salt, onion powder, chili powder, lemon pepper, Cajun barbecue, and also garlic sea salt with a little bit of soy sauce. All right, let's begin. So now that our salmon is fully washed in vinegar, very important, we're gonna season it. You have to make sure you season your meats good or it's gonna taste like crap, you guys. So I'm gonna start off with some chili powder. Just sprinkle a little bit on there. I like my food very spicy. And usually the people in my household like it spicy too. If they don't, it doesn't matter, because I'm cooking for them. They should be grateful. So I'm pouring a little bit of salt. We're gonna have some lemon pepper, some Cajun barbecue, onion powder, and a little bit of garlic salt with a smidge of soy sauce. Just a little bit, just droplets. You want to put little droplets on there. Just a little droplet, a little droplet. And then you rub it all over, guys. Rub that bad boy, rub all the seasoning in there. Get it nice and layered. Layer that bad boy. Now you flip it over and you do the same thing. Chili powder, a little bit of sea salt, lemon pepper, Cajun barbecue, onion powder, and garlic sea salt with some droplets of soy sauce. There. And then again, you rub it all over. Rub it all over. Get it nice and seasoned. And the essential thing, you guys, of what I put is some brown sugar. A lot of people don't know this, but brown sugar with the acidicness and the sweetness, it's a very good combination. So I add a little pinches of brown sugar, usually on top of my meats. Do it the same thing to the other side. Just droplets of brown sugar. Just little pinches of brown sugar. Just rub it into your meat. And there you have it. The meat is all seasoned. All right, you guys, now on to step 3. Now that your salmon is fully seasoned, it looks good, smells good. Yeah, you want to cut it up with a knife and then put it into one big bowl. Mix it up and put it into the bowl. Okay, so let's cut up this delicious smelling salmon. We're gonna cut it up into small pieces and put into this bowl. And while you're cutting up to small pieces, it's good because it's easier in the later process of when you want to shred it and make it into salmon cake. So make sure that you cut it up into good small pieces, as small as possible. The smaller the better, because in the long run, when you're making into the patties, you definitely want the smaller pieces because they're easier to shred up. Okay, now we're done cutting up the salmon. All right, guys, so step 4, now that your salmon is seasoned and sliced and ready to go in this bowl like this, next you want to get a frying pan or a cast iron pan. I'm using my Lodge cast iron pan. I will link it in my description box. And also I have butter. I'm gonna put butter all over my cast iron pan, pour in my salmon, and cook up my salmon just a little bit. Okay, now it's time to cook up this delicious smelling salmon. All right, first I want to set my burner to medium low. Cut up some butter. Keep turning the butter until it melts all over the pan. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Oh, butter. It's so much fun to watch butter melt. Now that the butter is all melted, now it's time to pour in the salmon. Pour all of it in. So we're just gonna let the salmon cook in here for a little bit while we cut up our vegetables. All right, you guys, now we're on to step 5. Now that the salmon is cooking a little bit in the background, now we're gathering our fruits and vegetables that we just washed previously. And I have 2 tomatoes. I have a slice of onion, 3 eggs, 3 big scallops, 1 panko breading, and of course, flour. So let's cut up everything. We're gonna start with our tomatoes. Slice it in half, then slice it again in half, slice it in half, and slice it again in half. And then just cut it into little pieces. Next, you want to cut up your onions. Next, you want to cut up your scallops. So the way I cut them up, I cut up the ends because I don't like the end parts, and I toss that, and I just cut up into little pieces. Make sure it's really nice and thinned out because you don't want big chunks in your patties, so you got to really slice it thin. Next, we're gonna crack open our eggs and put into the mix. Now that the mix is together, I'm gonna cut the jalapeno and pour it into the mix. And finally, we're gonna add our panko breadcrumbs. Just use a half a cup of panko, half a cup of the flour, and then you're gonna mix it together. Now that we have everything in a bowl, we're gonna mix it together. We're gonna mix in the flour, the panko, the scallops, the onions, the tomatoes, and the 3 eggs to make our mix. Just as bad as you. Just as bad as you. Step 6, you guys. Okay, now that your breading is ready to go, we're gonna pour everything into this big bowl. Your salmon, your breading, and we're gonna mix it all up. All right, you guys, first thing we're gonna do is gather the salmon and put it into this bowl. So you wanna take the salmon from the cast iron. Look how good it is. It's lightly cooked already. You wanna pour the salmon. Ooh, this cast iron is heavy, you guys. But we wanna pour the salmon into this bowl. Okay, so now that we have the salmon in our bowl, we're gonna add the breading in the bowl as well. Now that everything is added, like I said, I'm gonna put a little bit of more breadcrumbs, the panko, and the flour into the seasoning, into the mix. Just so I can get a little bit more crunchier. And next, we're gonna mix it all together. All right, guys, step 7. So now that everything is into your big bowl, we're gonna be making the salmon patties. There's 2 ways you can cook the patties. You can either bake it or you can fry it. Today, I'm gonna show you guys how to fry it, but if you want to bake it, get a baking pan, get some olive oil spray, spray the baking pan, set your oven at 400 for about 30 minutes. During that time, make sure you're checking on it, making sure that it's not burnt. You do not want to get disgusting burnt salmon patties. You want it to be crunchy, brown, and flavorful. But because we're going to be frying it today, we're not going to be needing the olive oil. So this can go. But what I am going to do is use the baking pan to make the patties, and then I'm going to put it on my cast iron skillet. Okay guys, so let's make these delicious salmon patties. So what we're gonna do is mix everything in, and I'm gonna pat it and make into patties like so. Mix in the salmon, get everything in there, get it nice and thick. You want it thick, 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 thick. There's a lot of the warm salmon that's in there. You want to make sure that it's all mixed in properly and well. Get it all in there, you guys. Smush it in, mix it in. All right, guys, so now that everything is mixed up, you want to take a little piece of the salmon and make into a small ball like this, or a medium-sized ball, depending on how many servings you want to make. My ball looks like this. And once it's into a small ball, you flatten it into a patty. Like this, and you pour it onto your iron skillet. Okay, you guys, so the patties are now in the cast iron skillet. What you want to do is set your burner to high medium, and it's ready to go. Just check on it every 2-3 minutes, and then flip it and continue flipping it until it's ready and done and fried. Okay guys, so while we're waiting for that set to fry, we're going to be making a little bit more patties. And for that, we're going to use our baking sheet to put the excess patties on there. So they'll be ready to go once those ones are done. So like I did before, I'm making it into a small ball, and you want to pat it down into a patty. And now we have these patties ready to go. Let's check on our other patties. Okay, it's looking like these patties are ready to go, so we're gonna flip the other side. And we're gonna wait for this side to finish cooking, and we're gonna flip it one more time, and it should be ready to go. Okay, it's looking like these patties are ready to go, so we're gonna flip the other side. And we're gonna wait for this side to finish cooking, and we're gonna flip it one more time, and it should be ready to go. All right, so now we have the patties, the remaining patties in the cast iron. You want to set your burner again to high medium, and you just keep checking on the patties. You want to fry it for about 5 minutes tops, but you also want to flip it over and over again so each side is evenly fried. Okay guys, so because I'm not going to be eating the salmon cakes by itself, I'm going to be making a little bit of sides to go with it. I already made my plate of rice on my rice cooker, and as well as I'm making some green beans. With my green beans, I season it with a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt to add some flavor, and I'm frying it in my cast iron skillet like this. Okay guys, so let's dig into the salmon patty. It's moist, it's not dry. Let's try it with a side of rice. And a little bit of green beans. You guys, this tastes so good. It's spicy. It's still moist and tender. And with the sides of the green beans and the rice, it complements each other really well. If yours tastes just as good as mine, let me know. Comment below. And as always, if you like this video, please like and share. And subscribe and hit this notification button so you can be notified when my next video comes out. I'm going to go finish this plate. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!